221-945-6832. Jim Fouquet with Century 21 Rue Realty.
We are back for the morning tip-off. 407-378-3717 is the number to dial in. And, we're finishing up the games on Sunday night that you guys missed. There's still a couple more we haven't gone over. But the first weekend of the NBA season has been a lot of good things going on, a lot of exciting times, a lot of big game and big performances. We talked about Oklahoma City's performance with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook on Friday night here in Orlando. Durant 43 points, 11 rebounds. Also, Russell Westbrook had 48 points in that victory over Orlando. We can't not mention Steph Curry's 53 points and 28 in the third quarter against Golden State on Saturday. For Golden State on Saturday against New Orleans. But you look at great performances last night. You talk about a team that's also been playing well. It's not been because of one individual, because of the entire team. The Toronto Raptors, we are the North. The Toronto Raptors, after pretty much finishing up last year, disappointing a little bit in some cases, but they're now 3-0 as they take care of the Milwaukee Bucks. 106-87 yet last night in Toronto at Air Canada Center. 6 Raptors were in double figures, led by Jonas Valanciunas, 19 points, 8 rebounds. The Raptors were playing a stifling style of defense that was just making things frustrating for the Bucks. I know the Bucks have said, the Bucks have not had Jabari Parker to start the season. Giannis Antetokounmpo was suspended for the first game, but he's back and he had 20 points, 9 rebounds. But really, the Bucks' main problem is they can't hit jump shots. They've been struggling shooting the basketball, and really, they're giving up a lot of points. I think over 106 or 107 points a game. They're struggling defensively. Last year, the Bucks were one of the best teams in the NBA when it comes to defense, and right now they have not done much of anything. Now they have a back-to-back tonight against Brooklyn, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But really, going forward, the Bucks they're going to have to start locking teams down defensively. What the calling card of this team last year was defense. They were stopping people last year. They averaged 97 points a game, and also allowing teams only shoot 43% from the floor. But right now, everybody and anybody is hitting shots on them on the Bucks this year. And I think what the main problem has been, Chris Middleton has not done much of anything. Michael Carter-Williams has been Michael Carter-Williams, and really they haven't gotten much from the bench. Rashad Vaughn played really well the other night over the weekend. Only played 4 minutes last night. They drafted Vaughn to be a shooter, and he hasn't really had a chance to even showcase himself as a shooter. O.J. Mayo's been, I think, hurt, and Giannis missed the first game, and this team will get Jabari Parker back sometime in December. But really, right now, the Bucks are one of those teams where, could it be the hype? The Bucks were hyped to be this team that could contend in the East, to be the 5th or 6th team in the East, to make it a little more difficult for Cleveland and Chicago and Miami in the East. And they really haven't had the good start. Now, Jason Kidd's been very good over the last couple of years in getting his team ready and focused. So maybe with the calendar change in November, we'll see a totally different Bucks team. So with that being said, the Bucks are struggling, but you got to give credit to the Raptors. Like I said, 6 guys double figures. They haven't really had a chance to unload on Kyle Lowry to start the season. And like I said, Jonas was just a beast to the paint last night, 19 and 8 rebounds. He had 21 and 15 the other night. I said at the beginning of the season, if Jonas Valanciunas can become a consistent guy for the Raptors, they're only going to make the Raptors an elite team in the East, because that's what the problem was last year. Valanciunas had issues with playing good nights, having some good games some nights, and have other nights where it's just complete struggle. So when you look at it going forward, you have to think of all the different things that are happening with the Bucks right now, and also with the Raptors. The Raptors 3-0. All their guys are contributing, and really you haven't seen much of a missing of Lou Williams off the bench. So going forward, as you look at the Raptors, like I said, with a good week coming up, they could be that team in the East that can be pushing Miami and also pushing Cleveland as well too. Final game on the Sunday night schedule, the Lakers and Mavericks were tuning out in Staples Center, and really the Mavericks was the first time this year they've had their starting 5 that you're going to see the majority of the season. Now, Chandler Parsons did only play a few minutes because he's coming back from the injury, and of course Dallas doesn't really want to push him heavy minutes, as well as Wesley Matthews coming off the Achilles injury, and Darren Williams has the ankle problem. Good thing was last night they played the Lakers. It wasn't really much of a fight. The Mavericks were in control the majority of the game. Dirk Nowitzki, 25 points, 9 rebounds. Raymond Felton hit key shots down the stretch, and they got contributions from everybody. Matthews contributed. Darren Williams contributed. They got good contributions from J.J. Barea. Pachulia contributed. And really, that's what it's all about. Now, Parsons, like I said, his first game, 2 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple assists. He did go 1 of 6 from the floor, but like I said, Chandler Parsons is just getting himself back into the swing of things. And when getting back into the swing of things takes a little while, especially with an athletic player like him, coming off an injury, coming off surgery. He'll be fine going forward. But the good thing is that his first game was against the Lakers because the Lakers really wasn't putting much of a fight. And now the only question in Los Angeles is that, and we'll talk about this more on our show tomorrow night on 96.9 FM, The Game, is how long is Byron Scott going to be the head coach in Los Angeles? Because this is going on borderline Mike Brown territory. Now, the only difference is that Mike Brown had a team that was supposed to win games with Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, and those guys. But really, how much more bad effort are the Lakers going to give before Lakers management just says, you know what, we're done with this? Because last night was a very, very poor effort. You know, Julius Randle was outstanding last night, 22 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. But the rest of the team did not do much of anything. D'Angelo Russell cannot find his shot. 4-13 last night, 10 points. Jordan Clarkson hasn't been the same guy that we saw at the end of last season. He started to regress a little bit. Kobe is 3 of 15 last night, 2 of 8 from the three-point line, 15 of 5 last night. But Kobe doesn't look like the same player that we're used to seeing. He's struggling on both ends of the court, and he's really taking a lot more three-pointers because the Lakers have been a three-point oriented team to start the season. And really, the Lakers don't have that many good three-point shooters. Outside of Lou Williams, who can be streaky at times, outside of Nick Young, who can be streaky as well, too, there's not a consistent three-point shooter on this roster. And for the Mavericks, like I said, for the Lakers going forward, you know, you can't shoot three-pointers, especially if you're shooting 29% from the floor for the three-point line all season, and expect to win games. They lost 103-93 last night. And another problem with the Lakers is that they're not getting much contribution outside of, you know, the guys that they're supposed to be getting contributions from. You know, like I said, Bryant was 3 of 15 last night. Clarkson was 2 of 8 last night. You know, Nick Young struggled. Lou Williams did go 4 of 12, but they need to find another scorer. And really, Roy Hibbert was just bad last night. He did have the 8 rebounds and a couple blocks, but only 2 shots taken in 26 minutes. The Lakers can't have that going forward. And really, the Lakers are a team right now that Byron Scott even said that their team is tired. We are now in the second, it's November 2nd. We're 3 games into the season, and Lakers players talk about they're fatigued already. That's a bad sign. And really, if this is going to be Kobe Bryant's last stand, which it could be, this is a major problem going forward. But you really have to give a lot of credit to, like I said, the Dallas Mavericks. Nowitzki struggled the first couple games of the season, but now he found the groove last night. You know, Randle couldn't guard him. They tried different places. They used Ryan Kelly on him. Not too many guys could really stop Dirk Nowitzki, especially when he get that leg kick going. So, you know, also Rick Carlisle, you know, he's got his 340th win as head coach, breaking Don Nelson's record. So congratulations out to Carlisle for winning that one. And also for the first time in Lakers franchise history, this is also they started 0-3 at home and 0-3 start the season. And the Lakers have to find something to get going because the Lakers don't get it going. This is going to get bad very quickly. And I know Laker fans are thinking about the playoffs, but honestly, this team is nowhere to be close. 407-378-3717 if you want to get into and talk about your teams over the weekend. Other matchups, like I said, we talked about over the weekend that was missing, and also games that were actually exciting. Like I said, we mentioned the game with Oklahoma City and Orlando on Friday night. We mentioned Steph Curry's performance where Curry just went ape. You know, just went completely crazy on the New Orleans Pelicans. And also games over the weekend that you might have missed. The Cleveland Cavaliers on Friday night and the LeBron James, Dwayne Wade Love Fest took care of the Miami Heat 102-92. You know, the Cavs are an impressive team. You know, LeBron's not healthy, but as long as LeBron has the vintage LeBron performances and Kevin Love can contribute, this is going to be something going forward that you're going to be watching. And the Cavs are pretty much the best team in the Eastern Conference. We've all said this from the jump. Pistons are 3-0 over the weekend. 98-94 over the Bulls on Friday night. You know, give the Bulls their first loss of the season. The Pistons have been the most surprising team in the NBA. Andre Drummond hitting free throws is even more surprising. If the Pistons get him hitting free throws on a regular basis, you know, there'll be a team to watch going forward. The Washington Wizards, they had an up and down weekend. They won on Friday night, lost on Saturday night to Carmelo Anthony and New York Knicks after Carmelo Anthony was called out by by Jared Dudley by not being a leader. Melo goes out and scores 37 points and pretty much, I guess, put it back in Jared Dudley's face. Speaking of games going on tonight in New York Knicks, the Knicks are one of the games, the marquee matchups of the night. As we go into tonight's games, the Knicks will host the 2-1 San Antonio Spurs tonight at 7:30 in the Garden. This is a back-to-back for the Spurs. I know the Spurs don't really care about back-to-backs because they're a type of team that rest their players. But the Knicks, this could be a good barometer for the Knicks. Like I said, they beat Washington the other night. They went in, and like I said, Carmelo scored 37 points. His shot was starting to fall. This is a team that beat the Bucks by 25 in their home opener, but then they laid an egg at home against Atlanta. So a nice barometer early for the season for the Knicks. And really, I want to see what kind of lineup they do with the Spurs tonight because this is the second of a back-to-back. Will you see Tim Duncan? Will you see Tony Parker? Will you see Manu Ginobili? I mean, will Ginobili, Parker and Duncan play extended minutes if they do? It is early in the season. Like I said, Spurs are back-to-backs, and Greg Popovich, and we all know, does not really care about back-to-backs. But we want to give congratulations, speaking of the Spurs, to the big three of Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili for setting the all-time wins record by a trio by winning their 541st game last night against the Celtics. They beat the big three of McHale, Parrish, and Bird for all-time victories. So you want to give, like I said, we want to give a shout out to those guys, and congratulations to them. As you might hear my daughter in the background crying, she's become the star of the show, it seems like lately, but that's the effects of morning radio. So, also games going on tonight, the other marquee matchup, there's a couple marquee matchups. The NBA TV games, we'll start with those. 8 o'clock, Oklahoma City and Houston. This is not the matchup everybody expected because, first off, like I mentioned earlier, Houston's 0-3. Oklahoma City's 3-0. Houston's at home. They get Dwight Howard back because it's the second in a back-to-back. The same situations that they don't want Howard, like Chandler Parsons, a lot of these guys coming off injuries, playing back-to-back. So they saved Howard for tonight's game because the way Oklahoma City's been scoring the basketball, they're going to need all the defensive help they can get, especially in the paint. We also know about Terrence Jones, who missed last night's game with an eye injury. Hopefully he's back in the lineup tonight because really, like I said earlier, Oklahoma City is scoring points at a high rate, and basically the Rockets need all the help they can get. Kevin Durant's averaging over 30 points a game and coming back from the injury. Durant, he looks healthy. He looks fine. The foot looks really good. And really, if his foot's fine and Westbrook is playing the way Westbrook plays, really, in Billy Donovan's offense and the way Billy Donovan's been coaching his team the first couple games, it looked very, very impressive. They're getting contribution from everybody. Ibaka finally has his big game last night. I think he scored 18 points last night. They've been getting Enes Kanter scoring double-doubles in like 15, 16 minutes tonight. Dion Waiters is learning his role. The guys are hitting shots. Augustine was especially hitting shots last night. I think he hit like 4 3-pointers last night. So on the Rocket side, you can't have a second half like you did last night, first and foremost. You can't get outscored 65-26 in the second half and think you're going to beat any team in the NBA, especially the Thunder, at home. But what the Rockets really need to do is find James Harden. Harden, I don't want to say it's the curse of Little B and Khloe Kardashian, but it's looking pretty bad right now. Harden has gone 3 from 32 to start the season from the three-point line, and he's struggling all over the floor. He doesn't like the same play. He's getting to the line, but the shot is not falling. The good news is that Harden averaged over 30 points a game last year against his former team. So if any night is the night for James Harden to find his jump shot and to have the James Harden game that we need to see from James Harden, tonight would be the game. Also, if this team is going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight, Ty Lawson needs to find himself. Ty Lawson has not done anything in the first 3 games of the season. Lawson has just been struggling all over the floor. He looks kind of lost and trying to figure out his role, his way in this offense. Like I said, last night, Ty Lawson, 1 of 3 from the floor in 37 minutes. He's not shooting the basketball. And Lawson was expected to be that guy that's going to be the catalyst. But so far, he's averaging 9 points a game this season, 9 points a game with 4 rebounds and 5 assists. But the key problem is that he's averaging 37 minutes a game, but he's shooting a career low 28.6% from the floor. So that's been a struggle for the Rockets for the first part of the season. But the Rockets need to get themselves to going and get themselves jet-packed and going. Also, the other game of the night will be on NBA TV tonight at 10:30. A rematch of the playoffs last year, the second round matchup between the Memphis Grizzlies at 2-1 going against the 3-0 Golden State Warriors at 10:30 at Oracle Arena, or Oracle, wherever you want to call it. Like I said, it's 10:30 NBA TV. So many different storylines going into this game tonight because first and foremost, Golden State's 3-0. Stephen Curry is the 4th player in league history to score at least 118 points in his first 3 games of the season. Wilt, Jordan, and Jerry West were the only other three guys to do it. So pretty much that